Warrable Springs Fishing Syndicate offers membership packages to a small group of like-minded people. With 6 lakes and over 100 acres of water, we offer some of the best private fly fishing in Victoria.
I guess, to be fair, there's all types of fishing, and it's directly related to seasonal conditions, the time of the year. When this cloud burns off later on today, we'll get polaroiding. There's a good chance we'll get a red spinner hatch, I would say. But you know, you get a lot of wading fishing in some of the waters. Then there's the hatch fishing that runs right through from October through, you know, till the end of autumn, I suppose, until the weather gets cold. And the mayfly fishing that we get in this district is absolutely world class in October, November.
These spring-fed lakes teem with life and allow the brown and rainbow trout released into them an abundance of food and amazing growth.
All our fish are sourced from wild seed stock, and they're stocked as swim-up fry, so they're only about 1.5 inches long when they're put into the lakes. They're not fed at all on any artificial feed in the hatcheries, so it's therefore up to them to start feeding in a wild environment. And look, we make no excuses that these fish at times are quite difficult to catch. They're wild fish, and it's just like fishing any other part of the world in a wild environment. If you get a bit of wind drift on your line or something, the fish aren't going to take any notice of your fly. It's not natural to them.
A variety of conditions mean that you earn every fish just the way it should be. With fish like this, it's worth the effort. Ultimate Fishing's waters consistently produce double-figure trout, but it doesn't give them away. You need skill, patience, and sometimes a bit of luck. Even expert anglers can struggle.
Yeah, it was a good fish too.
He would have been 10 or 12 pounds.
Yeah, we worked on him for, I don't know, maybe an hour, did we?
Yep.
Under the trees, was it?
Yeah, under the trees in the shade, and he was just sort of, Michael was up under the trees sort of spotting which way he was going, so get the cast in, eventually changed 3 or 4 flies, I suppose, and eventually got one he wanted, and bang, and he jumped a couple of times and unfortunately stitched me up under the timber. But that doesn't matter. It was the hunt, wasn't it?
For someone like me who can come down from out interstate and don't have the time to trudge around and work out different fisheries,
that's it.
To come somewhere where there's, you know, bloody good fishing and tough fishing though. Like it's not as if you throw your fly in and they jump on. You've really got to work for them.
Got to work for them, yeah.
And but that's what makes you a better fisherman. So it's like it's really good way to learn.
Big fish like this morning. We've had a 12 pounder and maybe a 10 pounder busted off, and an 8.5, 9 pounder. I mean, does it get any better than that?
It basically comes down to experience and being able to pick when the fish are feeding on the nymphs and when they're feeding on the dries.
So they can't go back?
Oh, yeah, generally you'll get days where the hatches will come through in waves.
Okay.
So the fish will feed on the dries for a little while, they'll take the dry, but then, you know, the weather conditions won't be conducive to a hatch, everything will go quiet for half an hour and the whole cycle will start again.
That's why it's fishing otherwise.
And as the fish come up over the weed beds, they'll pick the nymphs off. As they get higher up in the water column, you'll see the boils, they'll start to take the mergers, and then later on in the hatch they take the dries.
For the experienced angler, Ultimate Fishing is offering a very limited number of timeshare memberships to our trophy lake, Dodgers. Memberships are available for private access to this 20-acre lake. The best fish to come from Dodgers is an 18-pound brown, but who knows what monsters lurk in its depths.
That cloud's really burning off now, Carl. I think we might fish these deeper weed banks.
Yeah, well, I'll just take this point over here.
Yeah, you work the point, I'll go up a little bit further and cast out over the top of that other bank. I'm just going to search with a little damselfly nymph this morning. Just work this weed bank. We've already seen a good fish tailing on the edge of that bank there, so we'll see what we can find.
Yeah, well, if you use your greenie, I'll use my brown one.
Yeah.
Pull up a fish.
Yeah, you leave that little dun nymph on.
So what we've got a feeding lane along this weed bed.
Yeah, well, what the fish are doing is the weed banks have come up and they're just working the weed banks. You know, they sort of work through them and up and down the channels that the weed creates.
Well, it's the right time of the day. I'm not going to catch fish talking.
No. Oh, he's just taken another nymph, just on the dead drift. Very soft take. Oh, he's a big fish. Oh. No, big fish, this is how big fish fight. Big rainbows don't, but big browns, they just lug it out. They just wait for the fisherman to make the mistake.
How's that fish?
Oh, have a look at hey!
That is.
Look at the depth in that.
That has to be close to 14 or 15 pound, Mick.
That is a big
That
fish.
is enormous.
That fish may still be there for the catching, but smarter, more cunning, and a whole lot bigger.
Welcome to this week's episode of FAB. This week Shane takes us across the border to catch some freshwater delicacies, and I begin exploring the Great Ocean Road in Victoria through to the Coorong in South Australia. We go fishing for bream in the Port River and get serenaded on one of Australia's longest rivers. But for now, we join Shane in Ballarat.
If you think it looks cold around me, you're 100% right. It's about 5 degrees, blowing a gale, not really conducive to fly fishing, but we're doing it anyway. We're about 20 kilometres from Ballarat, and I'm with Mick Cole. Mick runs a large private fly fishing lake here. Mick, how long have you been doing this, mate? Tell us a bit about your operation.
The business Shane's been operating for 2 years. Personally, I've been privileged to fish these waters for the last probably 13 or 14 years. The biggest fish taken out of this lake, Shane, was 18 pound by Mr. Bill Cornish from Geelong a few years ago. There was one taken over 13 last spring. My personal best is a bit over 11.
Fly fishing's not as difficult as many people would imagine, but it's definitely a challenge.
Oh, like that! Oh!
Mick Cole's an excitable sort of guy, especially when he's connected to a big trout, and this is definitely a big trout.
Just try and work him over towards Shane, get him out of that pretty snaggy area. This is a good fish. Whew. I think get some line back on him or I'll lose him.
Looks like he's in fantastic condition, this fish.
Oh, he is. Fish have just finished spawning, Shane, in this area. And they're really feeding aggressively to put the weight on.
Mate, I've driven a long way from Adelaide to see this, but it's been worth every kilometre on the road. This is a superb fish.
Hooray! Hey, look at the size of that!
And there we go.
Holy crikey!
That's an 8 or 9 pound fish, that.
That's 9 plus, that fish.
That is absolutely magnificent brown trout.
I'll just hold him out the tail. Oh, he's better than 9. Have a look at that.
Might even be 10. Have a look at this.
Have a look at
That is a
tail.
superb brown trout. Now, you won't see many brown trout better than this anywhere in Australia. This is just an incredible fish.
Big rainbows certainly are handsome fish to look at.
Come on, baby.
There she goes.
There aren't too many lakes, particularly on mainland Australia, where you find both brown and rainbow trout to better than 10 pounds. Well, you've got to get lucky sometimes, and after what seemed like 1,000 casts, It was my turn at
Yeah,
last.
it's tough condition.
Oh,
Oh, he's on!
You're
Look
guilty.
at that! Oh, first cast in there and he's on straight away.
Oh, good fish too.
You
Oh,
little
good
ripper.
fish too.
These rainbows are right on the end of spawning. So this fish is probably only a week or 2 weeks off losing all its eggs.
Mate, this is.
Oh, look.
Do you realise it's the biggest trout I've ever caught?
Is it?
I had a 6-pounder back in South Australia a long time ago, but I never had one this size before.
Hey! Look at that!
Got to be happy with that. mate.
Little
Gotta be
beauty.
happy with that.
Ah.
It's got to be 8 or 9 pound.
Oh, it's every bit of 9 pound. Look at the size
Look at
of
the
that.
colour on the fish.
Good looking fish.
Beautiful fish.
So there you go, ultimate fishing. It's the best fly fishing I've had in mainland Australia. It's not too far from Melbourne, not far from Adelaide. Get over here and give it a try. You won't be disappointed, I can guarantee that.